Hello, this is Dr. Joshua Fowler. We just finished a phenomenal roundtable of leaders that are gathering from all around Florida right here for this cause, for GodDay. What is GodDay? GodDay is a gathering, a movement of people that are restoring honor to God and fathering the fatherless. We're starting on 12-12-12 right here in Orlando, gathering together for 12 hours of worship, and we're going to do one of the greatest acts of kindness that Central Florida has ever known. We're going to give away 12,000 pair of shoes to fatherless children. You might say, why shoes? Well, I'll tell you. Years ago, the Lord put it in my heart that my wife and I were to adopt a baby boy. We were scared, but with fear in our hearts, we went ahead and stepped out in faith. We moved. We got on a plane and we flew over to Taiwan to pick up our baby boy. The day came that we were supposed to pick him up. We got in the car, and my wife and I were so scared that we sat there in the car just silent for 45 minutes, didn't say one word to each other. And just the week before, I was preaching in California, and I'd had what I think is a full-blown panic attack, just totally tripped out thinking, oh no, what if this kid doesn't want to be with me? What if he kicks me? What if he spits? What if he doesn't want to get on the plane? What if he screams? Well, in the car, I'm reliving all these moments, wondering if this little boy would want to come home with me. We got to the orphanage. We went into the back room. We're sitting there. They start giving us baby bottles and giving us diaper bags and giving us instructions. And my heart's racing. I'm like, oh no, what I'm going to do? My stomach's sick. I think I got to get up. I got to go to the bathroom. I get up to leave. My wife says, what are you doing? I said, my stomach's sick. I got to go to the bathroom. I went out to go out of the room. I opened the door, and there he was, sitting right down on the floor, playing with one of the workers there in the orphanage. I was so scared, I shut the door back, went back around, sat back behind the table. My wife said, what are you doing? I said, he's there. She said, that's the point. I said, yeah, but I was so scared, I didn't have to go to the bathroom anymore. I sit there for just a minute, and my heart was racing out of my chest. A few minutes later, they open the door, they bring my little boy, Ben. When he walks in the door, he throws his hands up and he says, Baba. I reached down and get down on my knees, put my arms around little Ben, and he wouldn't let me go for a day and a half. Wouldn't go to my wife, wouldn't go to my children, just wanted to be with Daddy. That was just such a blessing because I was scared that maybe he wouldn't want to be with me. We get in the car to leave. He falls asleep in my arms. I look down at him in my arms, and I realized at that moment why I had adopted him. I'd adopted him to redeem him. I'd adopted him to raise him up to be an apostle, to be a prophet to Asia. I looked down at his feet as they were dangling over my other arm here, and I saw his shoes. His shoes were tattered and torn, and they didn't fit him. I looked over at my wife while we were riding down the road in that taxi, and I said, baby, we got to go get this boy some shoes. The first thing we did is we had the taxi driver stop at a store, and we put some shoes on his feet. He was so thankful. He just hugged me and laid his head over on me. Didn't really understand it all. Couldn't speak English. We came back to the U.S. I got him another pair of shoes. He lit up again, and it was so exciting for him to hug me. And later on, got him another pair of shoes, and he had learned English, just a little bit of broken English. He'd say, "Thank you, shoes. Thank you, shoes," and then he'd hug me. And so, why the shoes, Joshua? I'll tell you why. God kept saying, at GodDay, I want you to restore honor to me and father the fatherless. And I said, God, how can we father the fatherless? I had this conversation with God for 2 years. And then he showed me. He said, you've already done it. What you did for your own son when you adopted Ben, I want you to do for other children. I want you to put shoes on the feet of the fatherless. And so I thought, on 12-12-12, when we gather for 12 hours of worship with all these churches and all these leaders, we could give away 1,200 pair of shoes. And I heard God say, you can do that. But I felt what he was saying is I could do that, but he wanted me to do something that I couldn't do. So we set a goal for 12,000 pair of shoes. We didn't know any way that we'd be able to accomplish it. But see, he had told me years ago to gather the boats together, to gather the nets together from Luke 5, that this harvest would be too great for one ministry. And just as the Ark of the Covenant comes in, not on one man's shoulders, it comes in on the shoulders of many consecrated people. He said, bring the people together, for together we have the mind of Christ. Together we'll be able to do it. So we set the goal out, and we've been asking churches like yours, businesses like yours, people like you, that would just join this movement and help us to restore honor to God and father the fatherless. Well, since that time, I'm happy to report to you that we've raised thousands of pairs of shoes. I think the most recent count was 8,820 pair of those shoes for GodDay. Our goal is 12,000 pairs. Would you help us? Would you give a pair? Maybe you could give 10 pair. Maybe you could give 100 pair. Maybe you could step up with your business or your ministry and give 1,000 pair. A pair of shoes at first was costing us about $12, but we've been seeing people step out and go to Payless Shoe Store and get one pair and get a pair half off, or go to Walmart finding shoes for $2 and $4. Or like me, I went to Finish Line and I was able to get 59 pair of shoes for just a little over $320. Reeboks, Nikes, nice shoes. So it doesn't matter how you do it. Maybe you want to go to the website to shoesforkidscfl.com or godday.com and donate. Right there where you're at, where you're watching this video, if you're a part of a church, sow into the church that's a part of this cause. Help them to reach this goal. We've found now that we can get shoes, a special limited number, for $8.75 a pair. So you can partner with your church, your organization today, and help us. Join us. Join this movement. Sow into these shoes for kids. Why shoes? Because when we put the shoes on the kids' feet, we're going to break generational curses, and we're going to release the Father's blessing. And when those children get up and begin to run out of there, every place that the sole of their feet shall tread, God will give it to them. You can help us make a difference. We can change the statistics. The statistics are staggering. 75% of those held in systemic poverty are fatherless. 85% of our incarcerated people in America are fatherless children. 9 out of 10 homosexuals are fatherless. The statistics go on and on. 6 out of 10 teen pregnancies are fatherless. What can happen if we can get a child, put shoes on their feet, bless them, release the Father's blessing, and then stay involved in their life? I tell you what can happen. A few years from now, we'll be looking at a new set of statistics. Crime rates will plummet, and a move of God, awakening, will be released. I ask you to join me in this move. Maybe you can come on 12-12-12, and you can help us put shoes on kids' feet. Maybe you can volunteer and be a part of this movement. I don't know what your part would be. Maybe your business wants to sponsor it. Do it today. Be a part of what your church is doing. Be a part of what this organization is doing. This is not for one ministry. This is for God. Let's throw God a God-sized party. Let's give Him the praise that He's worthy of. And let's minister out in His heart and show the love of the Father to the fatherless. I thank you for watching this today, and I ask you to join us on GodDay in Orlando, Florida on 12-12-12 with thousands of people as we restore honor to God and father the fatherless. Thank you.